OMG, Teach Me Tribe. I am excited to be with you today. At the time that this episode is airing, it is the week after Christmas. We've just also had Hanukkah earlier in the month. We're having New Year's Eve and New Year's in less than a week. There is a lot going on. So, I want to give you something to think about. And at the same time, we're going to make this a little bit of a short episode so that you can listen when you, I don't know, need a break from family and friends and all the guests in your house, or need a break from the cleaning or the cooking, or just need somebody talking in your ear while you're cleaning or cooking. Maybe that's what it is. So, right now, at the end of the year, and quite frankly, even if you're listening to this at another time, this is an exercise that I think is always useful. And even if it doesn't happen to be the end of the year or the beginning of a new year when you're listening to this, give it a try. What we're going to talk about today is an exercise that I think is really powerful to do sort of at the end of a phase and getting ready to start a new one. As I said, it could be any time, it could be monthly, it could be weekly. We're going to talk end of the year. So, a lot of you potentially are thinking about this past year, and you know there were good things that happened, but sometimes kind of get dragged into focusing on the bad things that happened. Maybe there were some hard times, some lows for your mood, or some losses in your family and friend group, some things that happened in your business or your job that you didn't see coming or wish hadn't happened. There could be so many things that happen to us in a year or in a period of time. And maybe you're looking and you're thinking, well, a new year is coming, but ugh, like I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be better. All I can think about is this has really been a tough year. And sometimes we also, I think, feel like We've we've lost ourselves a little bit when we've gone through challenges, or just if it's everyday life, especially if you have kids, if you are running them around all over the place, or if you have been helping them through some tough times. I think sometimes we kind of feel like we've lost ourselves. And if I asked you right now, if I asked you, where do you want to be in 5 years? It's amazing how hard that question is to answer when we're in this period where we feel like we've lost ourselves. Because if you can't think ahead and think, well, what do I want 5 years from now? What do I want my life to look like? What fun things do I want to be doing or learning or trying or creating? If that's something that is just your brain is not allowing you to think about that, it's kind of a sign that you may have lost yourself a little bit when taking care of all the other people in your life, or when dealing with hard things that have come up in your life. There's no way we can get out of those things, but we do sometimes lose ourselves. And when we lose ourselves, it's kind of like we don't remember how to have fun or how to enjoy the moment, or we don't remember what it is that we really like and enjoy doing. And this is an interesting question that's often hard too to think about. If I asked you, what kinds of things do you really enjoy doing? What kinds of things do you do for fun? Sometimes our answer is just right away, I don't have time. I need to do this. I need to do that. I'm busy, busy, busy. I need to do this. I need to do that. I don't have time to do something for fun. That's another sign that we're kind of losing ourselves in the busyness of whatever's going on in our lives. And I'll grant you, most of us have busy lives, and none of us are going to, for days on end, just sit around on the couch doing nothing. We're going to fill our days, no matter how classically busy they are. but you want to have some time for rest and some time for fun. And even beyond that, because that's a subject we can do a whole episode on at some point, even beyond that, you've heard me talk about this in a few episodes this year. We want to recognize the emotions that come along with those things. So, the exercise that I want you to do for today's episode is related to recognizing emotions. So, it's the end of the year. If you're not doing this at the end of the year, it's the end of the whatever period of time. Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a piece of paper, or maybe it's a Google Doc or a note on your phone, whatever the format is, it doesn't matter. And I want you to start making a list of the things that you are happy about from this past year, the things that you are proud of from this past year, that you remember really fondly. So it could be a million different things, right? It could be that you got to go on a picnic and the weather was absolutely amazing and the company was so much fun, whoever you were with. It could be that you earned an achievement or an award or an honor, or you got a promotion, or you started a new business, or you started a new podcast. That's going on my list. So it could be an achievement that you're writing down. It could be just happy memories of something fun that you did, maybe a trip that you took. It could be something you're grateful for, that someone recovered from an illness and got the all clear, or that someone was able to spend, you were able to spend time with someone that you hadn't in a long time, or that, I don't know, you bought a new house, you bought a new car, whatever. So I want you to think through, and for me, because I'm a very analytical, logical thinker, I do this in chronological order. And I start with January and I think back, and maybe I look at pictures in my phone. If you heard episode 35, pictures are a huge memory jogger. If you didn't hear last week's episode 35, go listen to it. I go look through pictures in my phone and I go, oh, yeah, wow, I can't believe I forgot about that trip. It was so much fun. And I'm so glad I got to spend time with her and with him, whatever it might be. And I start making a list. And so that's what I want you to do. Simple. It doesn't matter the format. Just start making a list. Everything that you're proud of, happy about, looking back on fondly from this year. And maybe this list is huge and it actually takes you a little bit of time to make it. That's fantastic. Or maybe it's really been a hard year and you're looking through your pictures, you're thinking through the calendar, you're thinking through your memories, and you only have a couple. You're having a little trouble thinking of them. That's okay. Every year is different. There's got to be something that you enjoyed or you liked or you remember fondly or you achieved. It doesn't matter how big or small. Who are we to define big or small anyway, right? It's all relative. There's something. So that's the first part of the exercise. Think through the past year. Write down all these things that you're proud of, happy about, grateful for. Now, after you make that list, we want to remind ourselves of the fact that, well, there's two things. We want to remind ourselves that we want to recognize what emotion we're feeling in various situations, because those emotions are a key, a clue to the thoughts that are running around in our heads about whatever's happening. That self-talk that's always in there is creating emotions. So the emotions are the key to figuring out, am I telling myself some smack talk that maybe I didn't realize? Second thing we want to realize is that in any given situation, we have the choice how we respond. Sometimes we might just react at the spur of the moment. Ideally, we can gradually train ourselves to pause, take a breath, and choose how we want to respond. It's a little bit different than reacting, if that makes sense. So, as we're thinking about those things, I want you next to each item on your list that you're happy about or proud of, I want you to write down the emotion that you were feeling at that time. Or if you don't really quite remember, maybe the emotion that you're feeling right now as you're remembering that time. And so you don't get to write down thoughts. This is just a little exercise to practice recognizing emotions. And you don't get to write down happy for all of them. And you don't get to write down excited or proud for all of them. And if that's a struggle, try Googling emotion words and see if you can come up with other words. I'll try to put some of these on my social media too, so that you can have a look. Other words that recognize I was feeling so fulfilled or empowered, beyond happy, ecstatic. There's lots of different ways to say it. And this is just kind of an exercise to help us start understanding what those emotions are, going beyond happy, sad, mad, right? I'm assuming happy or grateful would be the emotion for everything you just wrote on your list. But let's see if we can go beyond it. Some of the ones I just said, or something that you might Google, go on my social media at OMG Teach Me Podcast on Instagram, and I will make sure to have some other happy, proud, excited emotion words as well. This is a really powerful exercise because if you look back at this list and you see empowered, ecstatic, happy, grateful, thankful, joyful, fulfilled. Good heavens, that puts us in a great mental and emotional place as we start the new year. And sometimes we tend to put ourselves in a very, I don't know, stressful or pressured place when we start a new year because we want to make resolutions, right? We want to say, I'm going to get in shape and I'm going to get a promotion and I'm going to do 17 different types of exercise every week and I'm going to write a book and I'm going to start a blog and I'm going to get together with all my friends all the time. Sometimes we go a little overboard. None of those are bad things, although I may have just taken them a little to the extreme. But we sometimes do it so that it creates a feeling of pressure or stress for us. And that's what I want you to kind of come away from. And let's stay in this feeling of appreciation. Such a great word, appreciation. If we can stay in that feeling, thinking back throughout all the things that were joyful, empowering, fulfilling, you were grateful, you appreciated them from the year. It is such an empowered way to roll into a new period of time. And if you went back to episode 1, if you haven't, do it. The reason that we're talking about this is that everything is energy, and the emotions that we're focusing on are creating this energy vibration that is the way we interact with the world. We can read people's energy, and if you've ever kind of felt like you knew what somebody was thinking, you know exactly what I mean. We can read that. So the more that we can figure out ways to get ourselves into this positive, affirming, appreciating type of energy, the more that we're going to attract that. And so why not every year or maybe even every month do a little exercise like this to put yourself in that place? Now, it's important that you understand that I'm not saying we totally forget and disregard anything negative or challenging or difficult that happened. We know those things happened and we need to feel those feelings. But at this time, for this exercise, I want to help you get into this appreciation energy so that we can stay there maybe a little bit longer as we roll into a new period of time where we might be starting to put pressure on ourselves. Because that appreciation energy is going to allow you to appreciate that now you have a new period of time, a new year or month or whatever it is, to really do some amazing things. And maybe more of these cool things are going to happen. That's what I predict. So I'd love to hear feedback from you. If you do this, what did you think of? How do you like doing this? And that is it. This is the last episode of OMG Teach Me for 2023. I cannot wait. Oh my goodness. So many cool things are coming in 2024, from the podcast episodes with many, many, many different experts to coaching that I'm going to be talking to you about. Oh my goodness. It's going to be an exciting year. Thank you for being part of the Teach Me tribe, and I'll see you on the other side.